Back in November, we introduced you to Pickford's Warren Schwab. Tonight, Corey Adkins tells us more about his amazing, very full life.
Yeah, I used to think I was pretty blasé, but I did a lot of things that a lot of people haven't done.
At 22 and just married to his wife Ruth, Warren Schwab's life was just beginning. He was getting ready to go to war as the captain of a brand new B-24 bomber. That also meant he was responsible for the crew and equipment of the airplane. And before he could take his new plane across the Atlantic, Uncle Sam needed something from him.
I had to sign for it, and in those days, I don't know how much it was, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here I am as a little second lieutenant, and I'm probably making $320 a month. I thought, what the hell happens if the plane gets shot down? Do I have to pay for it?
Flying his crew and plane across the Atlantic, his first battle wasn't with the Germans. It was with Mother Nature.
And all of a sudden again, and it starts shaking up, and then it goes up and down and over and around. I thought, oh my God, I'm in the tropical front. And it was pitch black. There's nothing, you couldn't see a thing.
Warren had no idea how low he was on fuel.
And I happened to look over, and all four engines were turning off, were shutting down. And I yelled back to him, and he got to flip the switches again, and they stopped going down, thank God. And then I'll just slowly started back up over again. Another scare.
That flight lasted 11 hours. And when they landed, they only had 10 minutes of gas left. After Warren and his crew got overseas, they started flying missions. One he remembers was a rescue. His commander and crew got shot up bad over Corsica, Italy, and had to land. Warren had to go pick them up, and because of weight and space, he had to leave the gunners behind.
The Germans were right here along the shoreline while we're flying right down the shore.
He made it to the runway to find it wasn't long enough for his B-24 to land, but he came up with a plan.
You could come in down the side of the mountain, and then if you couldn't stop, you ran out into the Adriatic Sea and hit the brakes as soon as I could, and I finally slowed, and we made it.
Warren got his commander and crew out of there, but he was about to have another close call. And believe it or not, it was with a 4-star general.
He said, hey, well, we stop at Caserta, where his friend, that was the guy that ran Eisenhower's villa. And the guy said, why don't you stay for supper? And then they ended up, Eisenhower was upstairs all this time. He said, if the general comes down, he said, sometimes he comes down for a snack. He said, if he does, stand up. I said, are you kidding? I said, I'll probably go through the ceiling.
Though he never got to meet Eisenhower, he did get to stay in his villa. A lot different than where he found himself the very next night.
We went into the minefield, which we didn't know it was a minefield. We pulled off the side of the road and threw our blankets on the ground and went to sleep till daylight. Woke up at daylight and could see this beware mines in German. So scooted back into the Jeep just the way we came in, backed out the same tracks, and said another amen.
After World War II, Warren helped train the South Korean Air Force, earning him the 3rd highest medal they give. And during Vietnam, he was the top secret control officer for all the Air Forces in the Far East. Warren retired from the Air Force in 1967. Then he worked for 3M for 20 years. He lost his wife Ruth in 2007 and has 5 kids, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandkids. And every Friday, he loves to make martinis, play piano with his great-grandkids, and enjoy his time with the people who love him. Warren turns 100 years old tomorrow, and he'd love to get a letter from you wishing him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lennis G. That is beautiful.
And help celebrate his life, because what a full life it was. And still is.
Happy birthday.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Gesundheit ist viel besser than Krankheit, nicht wahr?
And if you would like to send him a letter, you can find Warren's address on 9and10news.com. For 9 and 10 News, I'm Corey Adkins.